Okay, we are back at the park looking for cherry flowers, cherry blossoms, and back at the same place we were before. As I was driving up, I saw a few trees blooming, but still not like it used to be. So let's take a trip down here. I'm going to wait till a few people pass, and then we will be headed out. You know, it's very lovely here. I always enjoy this park. And we are using the new mic today, as well as the lens mod on the GoPro. So we're testing for stabilization here with the lens mod. Hopefully it's better than it was last time. So this is a side where they used to just be wonderful, and now not so much. We have this one that's going to be blooming right in here, and we have some back here. But the ones over here on this side seem to be doing much better. We're going to go down here a little bit and look at these. They have some pretty little blooms. I think we're on the trail less followed in this area. Well, pretty in here. And we may be headed up to the higher part of the trail where I am looking for those wildflowers. Oh, here's some different kinds of flowers. These are pretty as well. But here are the trees that everybody used to come look at. And they are starting to get some leaves, so that's a good sign. I think I want to adjust the camera a little bit here. Here we go. Lots of people out walking their dogs. This is not really the tree I came to look at, but it's pretty nevertheless, now isn't it? I have found a few tricks using the GoPro. Without the external mic, using the onboard mics, if you have it facing away from the wind, it works pretty well for cutting down the wind noise. And while this wide view with the lens mod might be good for doing these type of shots where we're walking, these are pretty. Yes, this is what we came to look for. Very nice. One in the back. Quite a few of these. So it looks like they have planted more of these and are kind of neglecting the ones over there, the famous trees on the other side of the road. And another lovely tree here. Lots of great trees down in this area. But we are here for the cherry and plum trees. I'm also looking for a place to bring my little stove. I was going to bring it today and then just didn't put it in the car, but this looks like it would work okay. I'm looking for some place where they won't arrest me for using it. This is the city. As one of my friends from overseas said, everything's against the law in California. So it wouldn't surprise me if making coffee on my little rocket stove would be breaking some law. That's a wonderful tree. I am going to turn this off and adjust a few things, so I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. What I need to do is actually fix it so that my monitor on the back stays on continuously. Did not do that, but I probably should for when I do these. It's a little bit cooler today than it has been. It's supposed to warm up nicely later on, but perfect day for a little walk here in the park. You know, it looks like we're not going to look for the wildflowers I wanted to see. We're headed the opposite direction today, but we do have these trees with pretty flowers. So that guy has a coyote beaten stick. There's too many people down this way. It's hard not to get them in the shot. We're going to look at this though. Fortunately, everybody has a mask on, so their identity's kind of hidden. There's another pretty tree. Oh, that one's very interesting. It looks like they grafted this on here, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't think we're going to find those wildflowers on this side of the park. It's too maintained. And then this is not really the habitat that I would expect them in, the riparian. There's too many people on the sidewalk, so I decided to, again, take the spot that's a little bit less traveled and give all those heavy breathing people some room. But it is kind of soggy over here. It's a bit wet. Yes, more of these. And this one again, it looks like it was grafted on. So that is the way to do it. There is an area up here that we may find some of those wildflowers. It's up over on the hill going this way. There's usually thistles up here and wild radishes. So a little bit better area for what I'm looking for. And we're getting to where there are more people because this is closer to the road. So more people will park closer to the road. The easy spot. The parking was not easy today. There's lots of people out walking this morning. Yes, we're just cruising through here looking to see what we can find. And here's more of these flowers. There's often a little creek running through here, a little bit of water. I doubt this late in the season there would be. Well, let's look in the little standing water. Don't see any pollywogs in there. Oh, it's not, doesn't look the healthiest, does it? Definitely doesn't look great. A wonderful old sycamore. Let's see what we have here. Oh, it says California sycamore. It tells you a little bit about them. This tree is supposedly over 200 years old. That's rather amazing. It's one of the oldest trees here in the park. Well, that is a spectacular tree. So this is a 200-year-old sycamore tree, approximately. That's, thinking back about the history that this area went through in the last 200 years is rather amazing. Amazing that this tree got started way back then. Oh, there's a squirrel going into the hollow part of the tree. You can see. Oh, and down through it. He's escaping through the tree. Looks like the sun's starting to come out. Let me just see. This does roll. I wonder if I need to reset my stabilization with this new lens. I'm going to try that. Here's a pretty tree. You might hear that here in this part of the world, English is a foreign language. And here, there's some thistles. I knew we'd see some over here. Well, let's go take a quick look at them. We saw some of these growing last time, but without, they were just little ones like this. They weren't growing up with flower stalks. They're kind of neat, aren't they? Related to artichokes. Like wild artichokes. You could think of them that way. Oh, here's some pretty flowers. It looks as though, actually those are leaves. The flowers are different. They're big and bright. These are a different plant growing up through them. But the thistle flowers, and here you get to see some of those stickers on them. Adaptation. Here we have these. And what do we have here? I'm tempted to take that and make paintbrushes out of it. We have animal hairs, it looks like. Actually, I think it's thistle. But I am tempted to take one of these and make a paintbrush out of it. I'm wondering, I think that might work. I wish I would have brought a bag with me. there are some sharp little stickers on there protecting it. Oh, this one's on there really, really well. It's like, okay, we're going to have to do this with both hands. Okay, we got a couple thistle heads, and I'm going to take them back to the car. You know, I think I'm going to take this stick as well. A couple sticks for the stove. I'm going to have to start bringing the bag with me because looks like I'm starting to collect things. I used to do this when I would go out, rocks, whatever I found. There's always something interesting, especially if you're doing art projects. If you're doing art, then you really start to want to collect art supplies. Oh, and some of the fauna that we have here, reptiles. I was going to go back the other side, but I will go this way. Up in here we might find some of those wildflowers I was looking for. In fact, we're going to take a quick little trip up here. No, we have mustards. Oh, and here we have a little squirrel. It ran off. And birds. Lots of wildlife in here. More thistles. And then these plants. Let's see down here. These look like they could be water hemlock, especially with that purple on the stem. They look like it, don't they? The flowers. Wild celery looks like this too, but celery is edible. Hemlock is poisonous, toxic, so you would not want to eat any. Any water in this one? It's wet. There has been water. There's a tiny bit of standing water, not much. And again, I seriously doubt if we would find those wildflowers I'm looking for in this area. Here's another great sycamore. Not quite 200 years old. I may come back down this way. But the main reason for coming out today was to see if the old cherry trees were blooming and to test this lens mod on the camera. The bonus was getting the thistles for paintbrushes. Now I need to find a handle for the paintbrush. I start breathing a little harder when I start going uphill. like other people have tromped through this way as well. I see footprints, even with my older eyes. When I was a youngster, I used to like going out and tracking. Now it's a lot harder to see where the animals have gone. You know, if it's a very obvious footprint, easy to see. Here we're going to take a look at the cross section of this tree they cut down. That would make some firewood for a while. And a great place for some critter to live. That's probably why they're leaving it. Can't see in there, but oh yeah, there is something in there actually. Some little animals living in there. Here we are back at the bridge. Oh, and here's a dog all by itself. Oh no, it's on the leash. People are just further behind it. Okay, well I think that's going to do it for this little part. We may come back out again. So I think that'll do it for this part. We will be back out again. See you soon. Okay, I'm back by this wonderful native plant here that is blooming as well. So I don't know if we can see that there. Yes, right there. I did change some of the settings on my camera, so I'm hoping that this works pretty well. Let me just double check here. I want to test for horizontal stabilization. We really want to be on that side of the little creek. I think we're going to go over this way and down and around. Here's another place, a barbecue spot. I think if I bring my little stove out and set it up on top of one of those, that nobody's going to complain. I'm going to have to find one of my bags to bring out. I have a couple favorite desert bags. I don't know if I want to use them for these type of trips though. I think they may be somewhat harder to replace than they used to be. I think it might be a World War I French bread bag, which is my favorite. And I have my uncle's World War II pack that I used to use. Now there's a good chance I would not use it. I would just think, oh, wouldn't want anything to happen to it. Now, which way are we going to go? Up this way, over the little bridge to the other side of the creek, or down this way where all the people are at? Let's see if they have. I thought there was a separate trail up this way, but nope, doesn't look like it. Yeah, this is what I remember. And a brave squirrel. That squirrel's tail would make a great paintbrush, or fur for a great paintbrush. Tempted. And here is where we will see it looks like we probably have sage, chaparral, probably is what we could classify this as. And this goes more up into the hill. So we are going to stop and take a gander at some of these plants. Yes. Some mustard. This looks like a horehound, I think. I believe it's been so many years since I've been out identifying plants, because usually I just work. Plants. Not what I'm looking for, but pretty little flowers. Here's a whole bunch of them. This is a good park. I am going to have to come back here. I hope a couple of weeks, but it took me a long time to get back on to this trip, get up to this part of the world. So I hope I don't miss my wildflowers blooming. And I wasn't even planning on coming out today. I happened to have some spare time and up towards this way, so I thought, I might as well. I believe this is a radish. Wild radish. Oh, what is a snail shell? It's in garden snail. I always like just looking at the rocks in this alluvium that make up these hills. A good portion of them. You can see at one time there was a lot of water that deposited these. And there is a creek up here with a earthquake fault. So here's some animals have been digging through here. You can see their little footprints. And there's another. These trees up this way are just great. I guess this is where all the people are at. So the city or county or whoever maintains this park decided this is where the good cherry trees and plum trees should be. Well, there's lots of squirrels in here. They're all over the place. And we have the dog walkers. I used to bring the dogs up here to train when I kept dogs with me, and we'd go up to the equestrian center. If you go to my OC dog training, you'll see at least one dog where I was working them up that way. Probably several. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is a great little flat area. I've done some videos in here in the past. Don't see any homeless people living here now. There used to be. They'd set their tents up in here. It's really a nice campground. But I'll bet you there's a sign that says no camping. And here we're coming up to a major street. This is, I believe this is now designated Highway 39, probably the other side, just after you cross the intersection, which is Azusa here on this side of the hills. Highway 39 on the south side is Beach Boulevard. So you may have seen me talking about Nixon's old house on 39, Route 39. Doesn't go straight through, it does a little quite a big zigzag. Ends maybe a mile, 2 mile zigzag, and then picks up again. That's pretty much it for right here. This would make a really pretty campground. So it's flat. And has enough gradient so that the water drains off, so you don't have to worry about sleeping in a puddle, you know, if there's a little rain. And some nice barbecue areas. Oh, and here we have a cute dog. We'll kind of walk by the cute dog. And then we'll head up the hill. Another hill climb, which is not a big hill, but I do tend to breathe a bit more when I'm going uphill. You'll hear me on the mic. I have it set lower today, hoping that that takes care of it. So here we are ascending. And of course, I'm always looking for things on the ground. If I think I find something interesting, I will pick it up and talk about it. So little quartz. Oh, and this is called the Bobcat Trail Loop. It can be up to 5 miles long. I don't think I've gone over the whole thing. I've gone over most of it. But as I remember, there was no sign before. And of course, we're talking about don't get ate by the mountain lions or a rattlesnake bit, and keep your dogs on leash. Going to try to go a little slower so these people can put some distance between them and me. There's somebody coming up behind me too. Here, I believe this is another wild radish. Oh, that's pretty. Lots of them in through here. And this is where I believe we will find those wildflowers. This is not it, but still find it an interesting plant. Let's see if we can. The thing with wearing a mask is that if I have my glasses on, they get so darn foggy. Nice, nice. When I used to come to this area a lot more, years ago there seemed to be quite a few more deer. In fact, I've not seen any deer. I've not seen any deer footprints for years. I know they still must be here. I just don't see them. I'm going to just come up here and look at the rocks, the alluvium here. Once in a while you'll find a ancient artifact in this type of a little washed out area. Not often, but every once in a while. If I did, I probably wouldn't tell you. You can see people have been walking over this way. That's a little game trail over there. Somebody else has been walking up here like me. Here's something of an artifact. I think it's a top to a pop bottle or beer bottle. It's quite old. It's kind of interesting. I need my bag. That's not ancient enough to give me any problems. I think they would consider that trash. And if not, it's going to be little iron flakes. In just a year or so, it'll be totally disintegrated. So just looking around for anything I can see, find. If I do see some deer tracks, I will definitely try to point them out, or anything else that's easily discernible, I should add. It's like right there, that I think is a raccoon track, but really can't tell. Oh. Yeah, this is turning out to be a little bit longer than I had planned. I just plan on coming out and testing the lens, and then I end up exploring and looking for stuff. I think go right back down. This isn't really where I wanted to go. Just a little side trip. Here's where the same little spot down this way. Seems like people go to the bathroom a lot in these areas. This would be a good homeless camp for a while. I think that if you got in here early in the morning, not very nice to sleep on, but hidden from the police and the park rangers. Oh, and somebody has used this for a bathroom. I hate that. People are just so rude. Here's a zipper from somebody's pack, it looks like. Zipper pull. In 75, 100 years, that'll become an artifact. Well, it looks like I'm going up on the high road. I do not want to be up here. I need to go back down. But I will take a little gander around and see if I think there's any places where those wildflowers would be. I have my screen set so it doesn't go off now, which makes it a lot better so I can keep the shot framed. But it heats up my battery like you wouldn't believe. So I do have my spare battery in case I need it. Oh, it's windy up here. I'm going to try to shield. Shield my mic as best as possible. Okay, so we can go down up here in front of me. I think we're going to do that. But yeah, this little ridge up here is much windier. We'll see if shielding the mic actually helps. Could put it on the inside of my shirt, I guess. I have my little lapel mic on. Oh, wow, this might. No. Now we're going down. Yeah, well, if I'm not running up the hill, I don't get as winded. Here we have a vulture. I believe that's turkey vulture. First one I've seen this year. Usually you see a lot of them in March. It's kind of late. I used to, when I was out in the desert doing video, when I was quite a youngster, I'd go up on these ridges and then down in a little arroyo just off the ridge and lay there still, and they would come land right next to me looking for a meal. They're pretty big when they land right next to you thinking they're going to eat you. So, but it was always fun. Always fun to see them. Oh, those are pretty. Yeah, I think we're going to have to go look at those. They're just so pretty. And it is not rattlesnake season, so we can just tromp right through here. This is the seed pods. Really nice. Oh no, these are flowers. I just need my glasses, that's all. Hang on. Let me toss them on so I can actually see. The little tiny flowers. Yeah, cool. Kind of dead flowers. And then these haven't bloomed yet. Getting ready. A couple more days. Okay. You can really see my footprints, can't you? I was trekking through there. Oh, and here's some that are blooming, the same flower. Take a look at that and then go down. Well, not quite. In a day, we'll be going. Well, let's just go up here, take a look at the park from a little bit of a vantage point. Here we go. Here's the park down this way. Some nice houses up there on the ridge. Then we have the city of industry over here. And we go all the way around. towards Pasadena, then more towards LA over this way. Okay, that's going to be it for going up. Now we're going down. Like I've said before, I always like going up for some reason better than going down. So here we are. You can see this is fairly steep. If we look at it just straight, this really goes down. I'm slipping and sliding. I should have worn my hiking boots, but of course I wasn't planning on this. There's a lot of loose gravel, loose alluvium on a fairly steep trail. Not very far though, it's just a short little ways, and then we'll come back out of that flat camping area. I think it looks like it. I actually didn't want to do that either. Thought there was another trail that went between these two. Well, maybe I was wrong. It's been a while since I've been up here. Well, we have somebody was camping over here, mattress, a bunch of trash. So I guess people are still camping here in this area, just not in the nice flat area that's manicured. They're going off to the side where they're hiding from the park ranger. Yeah, we do end up back here. Okay, well, I might have to go back up. Or get back home. I have things I need to do, and like I say, not really planning on being here very long. In fact, wasn't planning on being here at all. Okay. Dead pine tree. There's those pretty trees again. Pretty flowers on the pretty trees. I would think my battery should be about gone by now. Here's more thistles. There's a thistle flower. So you can see how bright they are. This is just starting, so tiny, tiny, tiny. But you can see very bright purple. Very bright. These are great. Here's this what I think's water hemlock because of the purple spots. Usually I see it growing more down by the water instead of up on the side of a hill in general. A lot of it in here. So I think that probably if this lens mod works well for walking shots like this, that I will use it for these. But for doing the You know, doing dog training, videotaping dog training. Well, here's some very pretty, very tiny flowers. Very tiny. For doing dog training, I think the regular lens is better. For doing a lot of things. You know, the dog training for doing how-to videos, I think is better. Now that looks like a good spot to go to. A lot of times when I was a youngster, I'd go up to the head of these and there'd be a little spring and oftentimes somebody living there. But also I found that's where I'd find a lot of cool animal skeletons as well. So I spent a lot of time going up those little things looking for just cool stuff, not necessarily the people, but cool things to collect. Here we're back to the artichoke, or not artichokes, but thistles. This is almost as big as artichokes. I think of them as wild artichokes. And this beautiful tree. And the beautiful tree. And another, hi.
Good morning.
This time we're going to cross the little bridge here. I think we're going to go back home. We're about done. I think we're done for today. So we're going to come. Oh, hummingbird. That's quite cute, isn't it? And bees. A very nice hummingbird. You probably can't see it very well because the sky is so backlit. We'll try to get it. Oh, it's perched there. Always love the hummingbirds. This is where actually having a real camera, like a mirrorless camera, would come in very handy, is to get shots where you need to be a little bit closer and have more control of the exposure. You can really hear that little bird. It's the wings beating. Probably not with this mic that I had. If I had the on-camera mic, you probably could. So I think we're going to end this video right here with this lovely little I believe that this is either cherry or plum. I thought the pink ones like this were plum. So that's going to about do it for today. I am wishing you the very best in life. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.